It's Thor, coming at you here from Cape Canaveral in Florida. And I thought I'd make a video tonight. It's like 12:30 in the morning. I thought I'd make a video about gratitudes. So one practice that I've developed over the last couple of years is the habit of writing down gratitudes every night. Technically, it's a journal. First thing I do is I just let it all out. Whatever's bothering me, what I'm afraid of, what I'm angry about, what I'm upset about, I get all that out of my system. The reason I do that is because it clears out my head. You know, it's like playing chess in your head. You have to make all the moves, but if you externalize it and you put it on a board, then it's much easier to think and think strategically. And the next thing I do is that I write gratitudes. So I condition myself to write 3 gratitudes. It doesn't have to be any more than that, but I have to get 3. Usually it ends up being somewhere between 5 and 10. These 3 gratitudes have to be, they don't have to be, but I try to make them as focused and specific as possible. So what I mean by that is I try to find the maximum gratitude in the smallest mundane thing that happened to me. So very often it's been things like, you know, this colleague of mine who usually doesn't smile, smiled at me today. Or quite often it could be something like, the lunch I had was really good. It was really delicious. I was super hungry. Now what these gratitudes do for me is that they force my brain to think in a more positive light. So even after all the bullshit, all the negative things that I've been thinking, even after all that, I still force myself, okay, but what was good about today? It's like, okay, I had that fight with my mom and my brother, but then then we had that coffee, and then we started laughing again, and the mood changed. Finding the beauty in that little mundane thing, like the mood changing between relatives. I've had periods when I don't journal, and what tends to happen is that I get all angsty and I get all depressed and angry, and I'm so thankful, ironically, I'm so thankful to have this habit, and it's like locked down pat now. I journal every night, and really, you know, I write this in my journal too. I'm the most fortunate man in the world, and I truly believe that. And it's not because I have you know, right now I'm sort of in a hotel and it's awesome, but I've been, you know, sleeping on couches, sleeping in airports. I remember one gratitude when I was sleeping in the Montreal airport was, I'm so grateful that I found this bench that has cushions. Like before, I was on a bench that was rock. Now I'm on cushions, motherfucking yeah. You know, we don't really need that much to be happy. You know, we need heat, we need food. You know, we need love. That's a big one. And if we can be more appreciative of smaller things, then I think we can increase the value of our lives a lot. And it doesn't cost us anything. So instead of raising our expectations, I need all these things and then I'll be happy, why not practice being thankful for less and less, seeing the beauty in the mundane? It's my thought for the day. Probably shouldn't have filmed it here, this seems kind of dumb now.